Well, hello everyone and welcome to the Darwin Incident Episode 3 reaction. Last time on the Darwin Incident, Charlie was investigated by the police because of his potential ties to the terrorist incident at the end of Episode 1. We had the ALA who had a run-in with Lucy, at least Max, quote-unquote, from the ALA had a run-in with her, and they seem to be watching Charlie and planning something. We don't quite know what they're planning yet. And at the end of the episode, we met Charlie's mother, Eva, or Eve, or Ava, whatever her name was. And that was really interesting, and I hope we open the episode with that and we don't just skip it, so I guess we'll see. But let's just get started. Wow, what a great doctor. I doubt it. That is true. There's no communication, right? He didn't learn anything from her. Circuses, oh my goodness. I mean, it could always be worse. Sorry, now we're in the science fiction territory, Jesus. Wow. True. If she can write poems, I mean... Oh, wow. That's rough. Sad reality. M. 1MW. 1 a.m. Something's happened at 1 a.m. Wait, what is she spelling? what does it say? 1 wham? I am one. She won with life. But from her perspective, she'd be flipping it around and it'd be N-O-E, no moi. Absolutely no idea. Okay. Is it a chemical compound or something? This is very cute. That's a lot of food, oh my god. I guess there's a lot of people, 4 people. Oh, socially. Interesting, because they raised him vegan, they are the people to ask. I like the difference between these two. Interesting. Where's like the Thorfinn of veganism? And it kind of looks like Einar from Vinland Saga. What does that even mean, that all humans are animal abusers? Okay. Charlie completely lacks any emotions, it's crazy. Well, that's a creepy owl, oh my god. Is it a robot owl? Oh no, it's a binocular. Okay. Oh no. What? I was not expecting that. Is that a Korean name? I don't know how this would convince Charlie to join them at all. They're gonna kill vegans for the sake of veganism. I have a feeling this isn't gonna go according to plan. Or I sure hope so. I don't want these parents dead. Lucy, yeah, she can die if she has to. But the parents, they're so nice and cute and we don't want them dead. Whoa! Oh, poor Minsu. Is she? Because she asked about veganism? Oh. Oh, he has super senses. I forgot. Oh my god, go save your family. Oh my god. Oh no, that's a military guy. Not good. Holy. Oh my goodness. That was some interesting animation. Wow. Whoa. Oh, we got some cool animation for once. This is crazy. Oh god. I like the sound effects. There's only two of them. Oh, he's aware. Oh, we love it. Oh no. Oh, they just used it to get out of there. Okay. Lisa from JoJo's. Oh, Lucy's mother. Gonna thank him for saving Lucy. We're bored by all this, my goodness. Probably tired, it's very late. The dad still feels a little bit suspicious. The cars in the show continue to look really strange. Oh my god. Maybe the kidnappers need to kill her mother. My goodness. Doesn't mean she has to be like a racist. My god. Ooh, are we finally addressing his lack of emotions? Oh my god, is Charlie gonna become a vigilante and find them and take them down? Minsu! Jesus! It's a lot of pills. Good luck. Is he gonna be Charlie? It has to be Charlie. But how would he find them? I guess his sense of like, maybe sense of smell is like extremely strong. Alright, so that was episode 3. And this time I don't really have too much to say. I think that was a very kind of straightforward episode, and it's not that not a lot happened, like quite a lot happened, but I just don't have too much to say, like nothing too interesting, I suppose. But it was fine, you know, I enjoyed it. But there is a few things I have notes on, because I did stop after this and make some notes. The first thing is just about the opening scene with Ava, or Eva. I am curious on, basically she leaves a message at the end, but I'm curious if that's going to have any relevance or not. I think the scene itself is, the way it's directed and portrayed and everything, including the music and the way the characters are expressing and all that, it makes it feel like the point of the scene is meant to be to show us how far Eva has has fallen from her like original potential as like this prodigy animal, because of the harm that was done to her by humans or whatever. But essentially it feels like the point of the scene is meant to be her showing us those words, a tragic kind of sad thing that we're seeing, that, oh my god, she used to be able to like write poetry and now look at her, she can't even put together a sentence or anything like that. But it does just make me wonder, like she was there witnessing all the experiments that the doctor guy, Dr. Grossman or whatever his name is, was doing. I wonder if it is some meaning, and it'll be some plot relevant meaning that will like come into the plot later on. But it is what it is, you know, who knows? Will we ever find out? Will it be meaningful? If I were to guess, probably not, but you never know. The next thing I have is just a general point that I've touched on, I think, every time in these discussions now, which is the role of veganism in this story. It is certainly interesting. This time we got like a very explicit, like another dimension of the veganism discussion. I think in the first episode, we got very lightly touched on just the idea of someone being raised vegan without having any philosophy behind it, and they just do it because that's just how they were raised, and that's Charlie, obviously. In the next episode, we got more of an actual, like, philosophical discussion about the, again, with the same people, the bullies that were bullying Charlie, basically, about the hypocrisy of, like, caring about some creatures and not others, and Charlie's, like, willing to eat humans, but because, like, all creatures, if you care about suffering, then you should care about it equally or whatever. Like, there was that whole philosophical discussion. And this episode, now we got the more practical kind of debate, or, like, perspective, I guess, of the parents, talking to Lucy, and each of the parents have a different perspective, which is interesting. You have Charlie's mother, who is more of veganism is a very personal thing to her, and she has no interest in kind of pushing it on other people. Now, it might not be because of her belief that, like, maybe she doesn't, it's not that she might not believe that everyone should have this philosophy, but it could be more a practical thing where it's like, even if she does believe that this is the right philosophy and everyone should have it, she doesn't want to push it on other people because it makes it feel like she feels like it's not her place to do that, or maybe it just makes her feel uncomfortable in that it would make her look bad. And maybe she doesn't like that. That would be a very human thing, I think. But anyway, she has the philosophy of it's like a personal decision. Then you've got the dad who has the more practical philosophy of being vegan, a little bit vegan, is better than being not vegan at all. So like try and do your best, you know, if you can be vegan Mondays or something, then have vegan Mondays, and that's better than not being vegan at all. And his philosophy that it makes very clear is that if you can be vegan without causing any harm to yourself or others, then you should be vegan. And he makes it very clear. And he's more like, be vegan if it doesn't harm you or others, which is interesting. So, you know, a little bit of continuation on this vegan kind of perspective storyline. Now, the more interesting thing to me is about what side the show is going to come down on in the end. Is it going to have a very clear prescription of like at the end, Charlie will be like, now that I've consumed all the different perspectives, I am now vegan. Is that going to be the thing? Or maybe it'll be more of an intellectual thought that Charlie will arrive at where he'll be like, you know what? Maybe veganism is pointless and impossible and therefore it doesn't matter and maybe no one should be vegan and it's a hypocritical mindset. Like maybe we'll come down in that regard. Or more likely, I think, in line with Charlie himself, I guess, it'll be more of a hybrid approach or somewhere in the middle where it'll be like, you know, veganism is good sometimes, but sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's impossible, and blah, 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 blah. I guess we'll see. But yeah, so that's veganism. The second last thing I have any notes on is, once again, Charlie's emotions. So this time we make it very explicit in that Lucy specifically is surprised that Charlie doesn't have any understanding of anxiety. Which is, I think, the first time explicitly that we've been shown that he has like a lack of understanding or even any experience of emotions. He can't even understand it. He's like, why wouldn't you just like be anxious? Well, why wouldn't you just be stressed about it when it happens instead of like being anxious for something in the future? Yeah, I don't know where this is going. I imagine my guess would be that this is going to lead to eventually Charlie experiencing an emotion for the first time. And then the question becomes, what will that emotion be? And I think there's probably two kind of avenues where that could go. One is that it'll be a positive emotion, like it'll be an emotion probably coming from love or something like that. And I imagine that would be caused by Lucy. Maybe something Lucy will do will make him be like, oh my God, my heart skipped a beat and now I'm in love or something like that. Or the other option is that it would be a feeling of, I guess, depression or sadness from loss, which would most likely be from the loss of his parents, or potentially from Lucy. For instance, if Lucy's mother gets more serious or more intervenes more like seriously in the story and gets her to move schools or something, and then he'll be very sad because she's gone. I feel like one of those are probably going to be the emotions that he feels for the first time. And it's going to be an interesting scene when we see him react. Is he going to cry? Is he going to like smile? Or his facial expression is going to change? It's going to be wild. So yeah. And then my final thing is just how crazy it is that Charlie found the ALA, or found the three members of them at the like motel that they were at. I have to assume it's because he has like an insane sense of smell, like even better, like a million times better than a dog or something, and he probably just hunted them down based on their scent. And the question then becomes like, what's going to happen now? And I feel like the most obvious thing that I feel like where this is heading is that Charlie is going to go there. Obviously, his goal is to arrest them, quote unquote, because that's what Lucy wanted, right? But I imagine the Max guy, whatever his actual name is, we have no idea, but the black guy, Max, he's probably going to try and convince Charlie, like verbally, like he's going to have some like debate with him or some like verbal back and forth sparring with Charlie or something like that. But I think in the end, eventually it's going to probably not going to change Charlie's mind because Charlie seems to be very like on top of these kind of things, like mentally at least, and he'll probably arrest them either way. That's my guess. Now there is an interesting possibility, which is what I've been saying. I think I said it last time, maybe the time before, which is that maybe Max will convince Charlie to at least give it a chance, like the ALA and their like kind of philosophy, because he'll see that maybe it is less hypocritical than like the non-vegan people or something like that, and maybe he'll be like, man, this is interesting. Maybe I'll support you for a little bit and watch and wait and see. So I could also imagine that happening. I think it's more likely that next episode they're arrested by Charlie, but that would also be kind of crazy though, because then where does the story go from there? Like not the story, but the plot. Like the like overarching plot seems to be ALA doing stuff, Charlie involved. But what happens when the ALA is out of the picture? Like where does the story go? So it does make me feel like maybe they're not going to be arrested, but who knows? That's for next time. That's all I have to say this time. See you next week.